Everyone has that one game that really just pulled them into the hobby of being a gamer. For some, it might be a game like Minecraft, appealing to many with a variety of ways to play, whether casually or attempting to push its many flaws and intricacies to the limit. For others, it might be a more competitive game. MOBAs and shooters come to mind, where the main goal is to grind, and continue grinding until you've either reached the top, or at least until you're better than your friends. Maybe it's a mobile game that you downloaded in one day, or a narrative-rich game with enthralling characters that you've really grown attached to. And I mean really grown attached to. But whatever game it might be, regardless of genre or style, a uniting factor of all games is a sense of community. And no game genre encompasses the idea of community more than MMOs. They're probably the best combination of both social interaction and actual gameplay. Maybe one day you're just really into the solo aspect of grinding out levels, and the next you just want to have a chat with some strangers while fishing. But that's enough introduction. The game that made me who I am today is Mario Kart Wii. One day in kindergarten or so, my dad came home with the Nintendo Wii Mario Kart bundle with the Wii wheel, and I was instantly hooked. I'd never played a video game before, so this was completely new to me, and it didn't exactly help that my brother did some tinkering and got a bunch of games onto it, and so I grew up with a lot of good memories and wasted time spent trying to beat the True Arena and Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I have still yet to beat it, the screen haunts me to this day. And thus was my life until a couple of years later, I got an iPad for Christmas. No longer was I limited to confines of playing games alone in the living room, and it was then when I evolved into an iPad kid. Now it turns out one of my cousins was also an iPad kid, but he had not an iPad but an Android tablet. So whenever I went over to his house, we'd always try to find games to play together, and most of the time they were either limited to Google Play or App Store. But on one fateful day, when I went over, he asked me to play a game called Grotopia. First things first, just a quick overview of what Grotopia actually is. I've shown it off a few times in some videos, but it's not exactly clear as to what it is if you haven't played it before. As for its origin, it was created by two indie developers, Seth Robinson from Robinson Technologies and Mike Hummel from Hamumu Software, releasing in 2013 with music composition from Corey Mollenauer. The game is described as an MMO sandbox according to Wikipedia, and unlike typical MMOs, there's a much heavier emphasis on socialization and economy. Now, I didn't play at launch. From what I remember, it should have been a year or two after, and luckily there is a way to see how long you've been playing for in your profile. I think. Only issue is that it's been a while since they last logged on, and I think that they changed the entire process. Alright, so first course of action is to actually log onto the game, and we're just gonna remove this because this is the old executable. This is the old launcher, and it's not updated, and it's terrible. But I've heard that they do have a Steam version, so yeah, right here. And I have actually never seen this before. When did they release this? 2024. Oh, that's why. What are these reviews? Why does everyone hate this game? What the? Also, yeah, I'm not tripping. The little buddy icon, I swear to God that they flipped the icon. Like, he used to be facing right. And now he's facing the left. And that just makes me go, why? Grotopia! Whoa! This is a terrifying looking, like, warning screen. But that means it should. Yeah! My eardrums. Oh my god. Grotopia. Legacy users. Watch, wait. Wait. Please let me reset my password. Please let me reset my password. Yes, this screen. Yeah, this does not look like... Nothing's really changed. Oh my god, they have so much social media. Okay, so ignore the negative 800,000 gems. First of all, what we need to do is check how old this account is. And this account was created 2,323 days ago. But the thing is that this is my new account, so I need a lot. I'm gonna try to recover my first ever account. So I'll be back. Okay, so I somehow managed to log onto my older account, and it was made 3,344 days ago, so about 2.5 years after release. And honestly, I think that was probably the best time to start playing. There's never really a core objective. I mean, sure, you could level up, but that didn't really do much other than give you bragging rights. No, the only thing to do was to get gems and accumulate things called world locks. In Grotopia, the way the multiplayer works is by joining worlds, something relatively unique to the game. So when you enter in a name for a world in the hub menu, you can either 1. Be completely new and generate a basic world layout, or 2. Be an already existing world. For worlds that are completely new, they're flat with basic materials and are also public, so anyone can interact with the world. And this is why locks exist. Locks are blocks that give you ownership to a certain number of tiles around said block, and can be adjusted to follow a certain pattern of blocks as well. However, it is a tad bit inconvenient to have to place locks everywhere to lock down a world, and if you don't log on for a while, these locks are able to be destroyed, which is where the world lock comes into play. With a world lock, you now own the world in its entirety, permanently, indicated by a dark green name. And I guess these became the economic staple of Grotopia because at the time, there was an inconvenient way to trade gems, and so these were the next valuable option. Anyways, I played for a bit, made some worlds, and went from the newbie stage to the farmer stage. I mentioned that gems are something valuable, but how exactly do you get gems? Well, the next staple mechanic is the ability to plant trees. You need dirt, plant a dirt tree. You need some doors, plant some door trees. Basically, any item back then was something they had to grow from a tree, and to get new items, you splice the seeds of 2 trees together. Adding to that, some blocks have higher rarities than others, and generally, a block with higher rarity will give more gems than a block with lower rarity. So, farming is when you have a lot of high rarity blocks, break them for the seeds and gems, and then replant them, rinse and repeat. However, only a couple of blocks are classified as farmable, which roughly follow the criteria that their average seed drop count compared to the average number of blocks in the tree turns out to be a net increase over time, or basically, the tree should drop a lot of blocks, and the block should have a high chance of dropping seeds. In that era, the major high valuable farmables were sugarcane, Venus guy traps, black rock background, pinball bumpers, and for the super elite, chandeliers. And looking back at it, this was really time consuming, and I'm honestly shocked that little me had the patience to farm for hours. But other than that, the game looks really boring. So how did I end up playing this game for this long, you might ask? Well, I showed it to some friends at school and they ended up liking it for a bit. But we were pretty bored of it after like a month or so, until an event altered our lives forever. A leprechaun dropped 5 diamond locks on my friend in a trade world. That last part might have sounded a bit weird, so let me break it down. Diamond lock is created by combining 100 reward locks together. Basically, it's a way to convert money into higher and lower tiers. The leprechaun, supposedly, was just some stranger who was dressed in leprechaun clothes, and I don't know if they knew that they would cause a decade-long butterfly effect, but out of all people they dropped the diamond locks on, it was my friend. And the trade world brings up the next major point of the game. So because worlds are player-owned, there isn't a generic hub area to be in, other than the now defunct tutorial world called Start. So players began creating their own trade worlds, which, are worlds to trade items. Worlds like Trade, Trade World, Buy, etc. are popular, and worlds with Buy plus item name and Sell plus item name were used to conveniently trade specific items. Other social worlds existed, such as Seed Diary, Seeds, Love, and even Hell, but back to the story. 5 diamond locks was a lot of money back in the day, bringing my friend's net worth of about 20 world locks up to 500. This was an obscene amount, basically the top 0.1%, allowing you to buy the cool items like Angel Wings and Devil Wings. So there was a lot of incentive for us to keep playing, but again, even while being wealthy, there's not much to do. Which is why there are events in the game. Since Grotopia is a game that follows real time, the developers decided to add events in the game that mirror reality for immersion and to spice up the gameplay. Back then, the biggest events were Valentine's and Summerfest, as they had the most expensive and exclusive items, but there are events spread out across the year to incentivize continuous play. So looking back at it, the original money-making methods were farming, trading, massing, which is creating bulk high demand items, owning popular worlds, and participating in events. The balance between solo and social events was really good in my opinion, and my friends and I enjoyed the game in different ways. And yet, at some point, maybe we got a bit bored and stopped logging in as much. There's progressively less and less to do, despite the 2 developers constantly pushing out new updates, from firefighters to ghost hunting, surgery, crime. So, a decision was made. In 2017, Seth and Mumu decided to sell the game to Ubisoft. Now, the particular details of what happened is outside my realm of expertise because I stopped playing it a bit after Ubisoft gained ownership, but I'll try to summarize it. Grotopia became a relatively big game and it was getting difficult for only 2 developers to maintain and update, and despite having mods to assist in monitoring the community, it was still a large task to do. So, in 2017, Ubisoft swooped in, negotiations occurred, and ownership was transferred, with players being promised that the game would be bigger and better than ever. And for the most part, as most cliché stories go, it was better. Ubisoft started adding a bunch of new items and events, and it was mildly entertaining. New items like the Mag Plant allowed for whole new types of worlds called BFGs to exist, and the Rayman's Fist was probably the coolest item to release, having a multi-hit effect and letting you transform to Rayman! That is, until we started seeing less and less creativity and more, dare I say, corporate greed. The events I talked about earlier were pretty special because they happened infrequently, and despite there only being a couple of events that were really worth spending gems on, each one was unique and had its own identity. But Ubisoft then added gotcha items to literally every single event. Harvest Fest, once an event to celebrate the farms of the game with mooncakes, turned into a way to gamble with hundreds of thousands of mooncakes. Winterfest, an event to celebrate the holidays and decorate the giving trees, turned into an event where you use stockings to satiate your greed. Easter, Cinco de Mayo, Thanksgiving. Practically every event turned from ones with identity and uniqueness into reskins of each other, and it was clear Ubisoft was pushing players to spend money to essentially gamble. Alright, speaking of gambling, there are certain items in the game that have an RNG element, and one might think that these were cool little things to pass the time with some friends. But then they turned into player-owned casinos. This is the next sort of modern day issue, being the casino problem. Casinos are classified as illegal to do, as they go against the game's TOS, because this game's rated like 12 and up, and they got hugely popular as the economy inflated, along with people beginning to illegally sell world locks for real life money. And so there's a constant war between moderators nuking casino worlds versus casino owners advertising their casinos. I'd go deeper into this, but I think the random world search sums it up. Yeah, so every single one of these worlds with a gibberish name is a casino. Another issue with the game is scamming, and this is probably the most basic issue because when I hear Grotopia, I hear drop game. Drop game is a simple scam technique where a world owner gets a bunch of random people into 1x2 size holes, displays a mildly expensive prize, and tells people to drop in and pick up their rare items, with the person dropping the highest value item winning the prize. Now, this seems cool and all, but world owners have special permissions like ban from the world, goodbye, get good kid. And there are other scams involving trading, stacking dropped items, changing the name of a rare world, trust test. Basically, anything that sounds a little bit too out of the ordinary is probably someone trying to rob you. There are some other issues, but right now I have a little bit of cash and I feel like spending it. So let's see what this game has to offer. Right now is the Aliens event, and I can go try to get something good from these space pod things. Oh my god. Not to relog on, and it's gonna take 10 years. What?
Hey, 70,000 concurrent. That's like a new peak.
New peak?
Except
No,
they're all
they're all
bots.
bots actually.
Yeah.
Wait, why am I doing the tutorial?
Bad time, Bri.
Eh?
What the
Wasn't I
fuck?
not just on the Bride the Bot account? Or not? I have no clue what happened. It was fine earlier, but I guess I'll see what the new tutorial has to offer. Oh my god, this tutorial is garbage. First of all, they make you break a bunch of blocks to get seeds to splice. Except there's literally trees of those blocks everywhere, so why would I go to the bottom of the world to get lava when there's free lava right here? Second, they make you wait for the trees to grow. They don't give you any grow sprays to instantly grow your trees, so you're sitting there for a couple of minutes watching this tree grow. Third, the tutorial is a bit bugged. I got the wood, it says to place the wood. I placed the wood, it still says to place the wood. So I break the wood and I have to wait for the wood to grow again because I have no more wood to place. And that's the tutorial. Start was so much better. This teaches you literally nothing. At least Start delves into game mechanics and lets you meet new people. Let me go to Start. Oh. I see the problem now. Yeah, bots are probably tied with casinos for the biggest problem in this game. See this online player count? 70,000. 70,000 is a crazy amount of people to have online simultaneously. And unfortunately, I'd say that maybe 60 to 70% of these people are either bots or casino players, with the remaining still playing because they're already into deep to stop. And unfortunately, I'm also one of those people, because apparently my friend still has a bit of money. I also have access to a couple of Buy Plus worlds. And it looks like no one's really using them, so finders keepers, losers. Okay, story time. I didn't really know how to integrate this into the video, but this game basically ruined my childhood because I spent thousands of hours on this game only to quit, and also lost faith in humanity because the number of people who will become your friend, manipulate you into thinking that they're a really good person that you genuinely like to be friends with outside of the game, and then steal all your stuff is truly heartbreaking. Also because I used to be a multi-millionaire in this game, but now I'm broke. I used to have like a net worth of 20 BGLs, but then I gave it away to a friend, and then he got banned with all the stuff. But mostly because of all the time spent I could have been using to do something more entertaining or more productive, and honestly I wish I never found this game. But back to our scheduled programming.
The question is, do we buy these? Should we try like 15 rib cages and try and break even?
For what?
For extracting.
What do you get from rib cages?
The same thing, DNA.
How good of DNA?
Well, there's just DNA. It just has a lower chance than amber.
I'm gonna have a stroke.
Okay, we'll try 15 T-Rex skulls, and then we'll try 20 more amber. Let me start off with the T-Rex skulls first. Let me see if this shit's a scam.
Okay.
I think I just need one from 15. It shouldn't be that hard, right?
Yeah.
Bang! Hey.
I see them all dematerializing before my very eyes.
Hey. All right, Brian. How much do you have left? 5? 5. Okay, if you get one more, you're in the green.
No, I'm in the break even if I get one more, but we're not getting one more.
You get 90. Come on.
I got another strand.
Hey!
This sucks. This is terrible. Wow, we broke even.
Oh.
Now what?
But actually, you made 20 world locks profit.
Okay, and it's a stupid red and yellow.
Ah! Ah! Oh! Brian, I should just give the rest to you. All right. So to break even, to make it back, we need four.
We need 4 extra strands. That's not
It's
work.
easy,
That's not
it's easy.
possible, bro.
Therefore, we buy another 40. Hey. All right, Brian. Show us why you're better.
But actually, you show us why.
Why did you leave? What are you doing, Brian?
This is built terribly.
My diamond locks, Brian, come back! What are you doing?
Crush them. Go ahead.
Come now! We need your luck.
I've been playing the game for a couple of weeks with my friends, and honestly, I'd say that the experience is not that bad. On solely the condition that you have money. If you like are someone new who's trying to play the game or someone who's broke, no, I would say that it's a terrible experience because the only way we made money is because we were lucky and had, you know, remnants from when we quit. And also because Tapjoy is freaking amazing. The 5x offers, you know, turned my negative $800,000 debt into, you know, 3 million gems. So, yeah, I think this game is probably gonna shut down in the next 5 years, I say. That's my estimation, my guesstimation. And I don't know, if you just want to revisit it for, you know, nostalgic purposes, you can. You can see, you know, what worlds you owned. And there's a lot more I want to say, but there's like really specific stories about this game, and you know, everyone has their own, and I don't. It's this video has been delayed for like a couple of weeks as my voice has died. So, video ends here. You know, go to buy Rustic and buy Speaker if you want to buy, you know, our stuff because that's the world we own. Yeah, but to end it off, I think there's this really one cool song from the game that we all know and love. So everyone do/dance.